You know what, JB? We got a little bit of beef, and after your 0-3 week, I made a call out to HR, and I had to find someone a little more qualified to talk Bucks. Maybe somebody that I work with in the past, somebody that I trust, unlike you now. So, top of that, I'm bringing in my friend, General Manager.
Oh my God, it's John Lynch. John Lynch is here, everybody.
From the Stream Center, this is the Rondé Barber Show, sponsored by Advent Health and Renewal by Andersen. Here's your host, JB Buno, and Hall of Famer Rondé Barber.
Welcome to, what edition is this? Is this 12?
11 or 12, guys?
12 of the Rondé
12.
Barber Show. We are in week 6 of the NFL season. And you know what, JB? The Bucs are cardiac and very fun to watch, but you know who else is that? The team we play this week. So it's my pleasure to welcome in my favorite teammate, John. I can't wait to show you some of these pictures I've found of us. One of them in particular you're going to remember very, very fondly. But how you doing, man? Your team reminds me a lot of my team, and since we're playing this week, there is no better guest to have than you. 4-1, the San Francisco 49ers. 4-1, the Tampa Bay Bucs, and we could easily be otherwise.
That looks like that was a good night right there, dude.
I think that was the day after this night.
Oh yeah. CeeLo.
Well, one of the three of us was feeling better than the other two.
Oh yeah.
That pic is
so much fun.
Oh man, that pic's from my Hall of Fame party 2 years ago, and John and I got the pleasure to meet our entertainment that night. What's your favorite memory of that night, by the way?
Just watching you. I think it's when you're in it, there's so much going on. You've got everybody you've ever known is there, and you got your speech still in front of you, and so you try to enjoy it. But you're also hosting, and you've got so much on your mind. And so I think to step back and when it happens to one of your teammates, one of your best friends in the world, you probably get to really enjoy the whole process more and really take it in and say, man, that is really cool. When you're in it, you're just it's almost when you're playing, it's on to the next thing.
Right.
Okay, now I got to go do my speech. Now I got to go do this. And the party usually is when you can start kind of letting it all loose and just enjoying. But even then, you're seeing people, you've got so many people to see. So I think just sitting back and being a spectator at it, and so many of the people that I know and love, and just watching you and your joy and your mom and your brother, it was unbelievable. And so it was, the entertainment was great and all that, but it's so much more than that. It's all the memories, your life in front of you. And the thing I find interesting about the Hall of Fame, usually Hall of Fame players during their career, like I was just talking about the Hall of Fame weekend, you never take time to reflect back because it's always about what's next. And so it is a cool opportunity. I found it really cool because you get to take inventory of everything and say, man, I've lived a pretty cool football life,
Right.
and the people I've been exposed to, and it all comes full circle. So it is an exceptional deal.
Right. I've had the great opportunity to experience you and Derek and Sap before me, and Tony for that matter. He didn't have the party that the other three had. John's party, by the way, had Lionel Richie, and that was a nice standard to live up to when I threw mine. So I got
thanks to the Glazers and all these nice people Glazers and Jed York here with the Niners. I didn't even play for him, for Christ's sake. And he goes, "Who do you want?" Well,
John,
really?
John, you are pretty unique. I told you I was going to give you flack, and I am. You're in 2 rings of honors, the Bucs and the Broncos, and you got a San Francisco 49ers helmet right over the top of your head. So you might be one of the most unique individuals in the history of the NFL, if I'm being honest about your career path. And it's been probably a pretty fun ride for you. Speaking of that ride, let's get into because I don't want to take all your time, but I do want to ask you about our matchup, and I'll get to it. But what's it been like being in your seat for the last, God, what has it been? Are you 9?
This is year 9 now.
Yeah, 9 years. What's it like being in your seat?
It's been an incredible ride. So like people say, did you ever see yourself doing this? Part of me did. When we played, I was always kind of into, like even going back to being a kid, my dad, we had a saying like Lynch's don't miss school. He was really big. You went to school, whether you were sick. We weren't sick. You went to school. The one day he took me out, ironically, was the NFL draft. And the NFL draft wasn't a huge deal then. I believe it used to happen like on a Tuesday. And my dad would literally take me out of school, and that was our thing. We'd watch the NFL draft. And so I always was interested in, that part of it. When we were working on our trailers at $1 Place, I'd go back and see Rich McKay and them and ask them about their jobs. I was always a little intrigued, but probably the biggest moment for me after I left Tampa, I obviously went and played for Denver and became fairly good friends with John Elway. And after I was done playing, started hanging around him more, golfing a couple times a week. And then he took the dive with the Broncos. And so when he took that dive, you're new to something. Even John, who had been around the Broncos organization, said, Johnny, I don't know any of these people that I'm working with. I think there's some good people, but I need some eyes that I trust. And I was doing my NFL on Fox stuff. You love football. I trust your eyes. We talk ball all the time. Would you watch the safeties this year? So I start watching the safeties. And then the next year it's, hey, would you watch, you did a hell of a job. Would you watch the DBs? And so I did that for him. And then the next year, come in, do our draft process, do our off season. So I did that on a volunteer. He didn't pay me anything. I still give him a hard time about that. And that kind of piqued my interest. And so then the next thing was like, will the right situation ever present itself? And kind of just fell into it. And where Kyle Shanahan was a guy, I did a lot of his games. When you're doing someone games, there's a mutual respect, and we start talking a lot. It looks like he's going to get this job. And I said, hey man, I'm thrilled for you. You had they ended up in the Super Bowl that year. And he said something. He goes, I'm just really struggling to find someone I want to do it with. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, a GM. I can't find one that I'm really fired up about working with. And one of those deals where you go to bed and you don't know what's on your mind. But Linda kept saying, you're thinking about something. I know when you're like this. And finally, about 3 nights in, I said, Linda, I know what it is. Kyle said this. Like, what if I did that? She said, no. I said, why? She said, because that would entail us moving, and our kids are happy. We're happy. We're in San Diego. Next thing you know, I said, no, I've got to do it. I got to at least take the interview and see if it's possible. So long story short, 9 years later, here we are.
There you are.
It's been an awesome ride.
Dude, you built a heck of a team, man. You're perennial contenders. Let's get into this matchup. Well, first of all, tell me about how important early season wins are, because I was thinking last night, right before I was getting ready to have this conversation with you, and I said, actually, I texted Rhett this too. I was like, how important were each of our wins last week? Because we're going into a game where 4-1 is playing 4-1. And if you would have lost last week on Thursday night to the Rams, you're then 3-2 with a chance to see 500 in the face, looking 500 in the face. The Bucs are the exact same way. If they would have lost to Seattle, they're looking at 500 in the face, playing a team that's 4-1. How important are these early season wins, just for momentum, for anything, just the positive outlook? I don't know how you approach it. How do you approach this?
I think every one of these, Rondé, are so important. We've done it the hard way here, where we've been 3-6 and ended up, in the playoffs. I remember with Tony, we used to start slow sometimes, and,
Right.
and we would find ourselves in tough predicaments, and sometimes it took that for everything to come together. I think the thing about both our teams right now, I'm talking the Niners and the Bucs, both being 4-1. we've both faced a ton of adversity in terms of injuries.
And that's a good thing, right? Be able to win through that.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right.
So to be able to stack wins when you're like, man, I don't even know if we're going to be able to field a team this week. I saw Todd last week had to cancel and make it a walkthrough on a Thursday, which is not ideal before Seattle, but you got to find a way to field the best team possible. So to be able to endure. And then we beat the Rams, really good football team. I have a lot of respect for the Seattle team that the Bucs went on the road, and I think they're kind of finding themselves. But I thought the Seahawks are a tough team to beat. That defense is real, and it didn't look like it the other day.
Especially up there.
Yeah.
In that damn stadium. Oh, my God, man.
Yeah. So I think both teams coming off good wins, being 4-1. They move this to the primetime game, so it's going to be, two teams playing really well, two teams with really similar paths thus far, and that they're doing it with without a lot of their best players, and who can put it together and go execute.
Tell me about the one question I have to ask you is about your quarterback, and not whether or not Brock is coming back, but just about how do you identify a Mac Jones? Like, from what I understand, Kyle wanted him coming out, right? You didn't draft him. Obviously, you took the other guy. I won't even mention his name. But you get a chance to bring him into your system, and he turns out to be way better than anybody's expectations. Did you see this coming from a Mac Jones, or is it just kind of, wow, he surprised us too?
Way back to the draft process. I mean, we ended up taking Trey Lance, but we loved Mac throughout the process. And when we traded up, we really didn't know who we were going to take. We knew we needed to draft a quarterback at the time. We thought there were a few guys, and those were the two we had zeroed in on. We both, thought it was going to be Mac early in the process. The more we went through the process, we started talking about the unique things that Trey could bring. It was a tough time to evaluate quarterbacks because it was COVID and you couldn't go see them, So you were doing a lot of it blind. And Trey played North Dakota State, only played one game his junior year. It was a weird situation. But the running part of his game, and Kyle had done stuff with Robert Griffin, and it was a way to gain advantage, and we probably overthought it. And Mac was just, he was playing with receivers at Alabama that were ridiculously good, but I've never seen a quarterback have a year as good as Mac had. But he just, he wasn't the guy that was going to blow you away physically, but he was an unbelievable distributor of the ball and all that. So
he's going to blow you away. He's going to blow you away with the suits that he wears, though.
Oh gosh, unbelievable. I don't know if you call that suit game. It's interesting. He's bold. He's confident with what he wears out there. He's got a quirky, fun personality. He's been awesome. And Kyle's done this once before with Sam Darnold, where you bring in a guy who's got a ton of talent. They've been kind of beat down by the league, playing on bad teams behind bad O-lines and bad situations. And Kyle, I think his greatest skill, he really just says a couple, like, let it rip, and they're like, what? Well, what if I throw a pick? No, let it rip, let's go. The only way you're going to have success in this league is to play without hesitation. You've got the skills, let it rip. And that's what I think he gives confidence to these guys, that it's okay to make mistakes. The practice field's the best place, and you're not going to have any success unless you start playing confident football. And you've got an environment here where you can do that. And it was fun with Sam to watch his innate abilities come out, and we're starting to see it with Mac. And Mac's we didn't think we'd have to call on Mac this early. Brock's been a very durable guy. He got this turf toe, and those are tough to deal with. And so thank God we have Mac, because he's allowed us to get to 4-1. He's playing really good football.
That's a perfect transition to the guy that the Bucs fans here are just enamored with, and that's Baker Mayfield. Similar situation, right? Cast off, number one pick in the draft, cast off. Dude, he's been here for 3 years, and I know we had Brady. I know for a fact, John, and we can talk Bucks 50th stuff here in a second, but I don't think that we've had a more popular quarterback in Tampa ever, and I mean ever, than Baker Mayfield. The guy, and I'm a homer here. I don't study quarterbacks. I study Baker a lot because I watch all their film because I have to. Career year last year in yards, touchdowns, top 5 in both. He's currently, fourth in yards and third in touchdowns this year. Is he as special as everybody here thinks he is? I mean, when you're looking at him, are you going, holy, we got to play this dude, and all he does is find ways to lift this team. This team is decimated. Mike Evans is out. Jalen McMillan, it didn't even start the year. He got hurt in the preseason. We got a rookie first-round receiver. He's making Sterling Shepard look like the best accessory receiver in the NFL. I mean, is this guy as good as we all think he is?
He's playing like that right now. The guy we played against when he was with Cleveland wasn't that guy. You kind of liked playing against him back then, and I can tell you that's not what we're looking at right now. Right now, when football people start saying this guy's out of his mind, when people start talking in that language, that's the way the guy's playing. The zone, he's in that zone. You can tell the game's moving very slow. Like his eyes are up at all times. He doesn't feel like anybody around him can get him down in a pocket. He never feels like, I'll never forget the play when we came to Tampa last year. Nick Bosa's when he gets his hands on someone, they're typically going down.
Oh my God.
And he's like stiff arming him with this left. It was a 4th down.
Right.
Like it went on for 8 seconds, stiff arming him with his left arm and threw a ball, got completed. I thought it was one of the great plays I've ever seen. And, aside from that, the way he's playing, Baker just kind of has this juice. You can see it from afar that his teammates love, that the fans must love, and he's got something special about him. So he's playing really good football. That's our challenge. It's weird talking about the Bucs, and I'm saying like the opponent.
Right, the opponent.
This week we are. That is our challenge, is to find a way to neutralize him. And it's not just him. It's a really well put together team by Jason Light and Todd Bowles, and a team we have a lot of respect for.
Right. And our challenge, meaning the Bucs challenge, the team that you've forgotten about, that you used to be a legend with, is Christian McCaffrey. I mean, the guy leads you in receptions, yards, receiving, rushing. He's probably about the most complete back in football. Would you not say that? I mean, I think that. I mean, I know there's some other guys out there. You could talk about Robinson and Atlanta. You even throw Bucky into that conversation, to be honest with you, the way Bucky reacts with the ball in his hand. But is there a more efficient running back than your guy? I don't think so. Assuming he stays healthy, because you just don't want this guy to get hurt.
Saquon is pretty darn explosive. The interesting thing, both Christian and Saquon this year, I think, are running for right at 3 yards per carry. So that alone, you don't think, but Christian's finding other ways in scrimmage yards. Our run game hasn't busted out. And when you think Kyle Shanahan offense, the run game's always at the center. That's what makes us go.
Right.
We haven't got that ripping yet, but we continue to do it. That's really, Kyle is always going to continue to run the football. With a thought that it's eventually going to bust. And with a running back like Christian, it will, but he finds other ways. The guy could play receiver in our league and be at the top tier of that. He's that talented. He's such a pro. Rondé, you'd love him. He's a top flight skilled guy in terms of his abilities. I mean, the McCaffreys, his parents, I went to college with them. They were made they should breed. They could do very well,
put together a breeding program of football players.
Unbelievable. They just breed babies and the unbelievable talent. But on top of that, he's like a walk-on. He's like walking around here fearful that we're going to get rid of him.
Right.
Hey, what do you think about that play? John Kyle, dude, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great, And but he's got that type of mentality, and our old coach Herm Edwards used to say something that I think Christian when Will meets skill, you got something special, and that's
doubt.
Christian McCaffrey to a T. He works as hard as anybody I've ever seen, and he's supremely talented.
Oh man, I love that. All right, John, I'm gonna peel off your San Francisco 49ers GM hat here for a second. Bucs are in their 50th year. We've been doing a lot of stuff around here celebrating 50. There's been one exception. You haven't been here, dude. You get a chance to come back. You're gonna feel some of this 50th season stuff when you get here. One, is it going to be emotional, you think, just knowing how big of a part you were of the Bucs 50th, 50 seasons? And then what's your favorite memory other than being in a defensive meeting room with me? Because I know I'm your favorite teammate.
Gosh. So, yes, it is going to be emotional. It is every time I step in that stadium. It's fun. Half our team here, don't even know I ever played. So they come in
crazy.
And they're like, wait, why's your name up on the wall? Kyle will usually say something that, the week we come back about, hey, you guys do know this guy, and he'll usually show some clips. So we'll see. But it's game's not about me, but it is fun to come back, especially in the 50th year. And I really applaud the Glazers. They did a tremendous last year when I was there. I went out pregame and filmed some stuff, and they kept talking about the 50th anniversary, and it was like, yeah, all right, it's not here though, but they did such a great, they were years ahead of this thing, trying to make it special. And I appreciate that they've made it so special. I got one of the coolest, I'm sure you got the same thing, care packages.
With, the book,
they open it up, book, a jersey, that has the 50th. So they've done a great job of chronicling, but to feel it's going to be really special. As for my favorite memory, there's so many. I think I think a lot of them after good wins, us being up with the video guys,
maybe having a couple of pops.
Yeah, a couple of pops. Hey, Archie, with our guys. I mean, we had so much fun. But I think, obviously the Super Bowl and holding the trophy and all that, and because of where we came from,
right.
I got there, a while before you, and we were the worst. People forget that we're the worst franchise in all of sports. I mean, it was Johnny Carson back then, and we used to often be part of the monologue, the Tope and the show,
right.
when they would talk about things that sucked, it would start with, they're as bad as the Buccaneers, and so to take it from that, and I knew how hard we had to work, because it's hard to fix something that's been broken for a long time. And so to take it from there to the top just made it even more sweet. And then the people we did it with,
right,
it was awesome. The only thing at the end to not have Coach Dungy and that whole group there.
Exactly.
Although we all felt like they were so much a part of it.
No doubt. All right. I forgot that I have a co-host over here, and he has a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, John?
Hey.
I'm in charge of making sure that we have some fun at Rondé's expense here on this program. We had Gruden on, a few weeks back. We had some laughs at Rondé's expense. So I find it interesting being here with the two of you, because obviously both Bucs Ring of Honor members, but both Pro Football Hall of Famers. You've both done work in the booth, but the difference here, John, is that you have gone into being an executive and being a general manager of a football team. Rondé has not moved into the front office. So Rondé and I have had some conversations with this, as we've gotten to know each other, and I'm curious from your perspective. Here's what we want to do. I want to ask you, give me one quality about Rondé Barber that you think would make Rondé a great NFL GM. And then conversely, give me one terrible quality about Rondé that would make him a terrible
They're probably the same.
GM. All right. Well, I talked about Christian McCaffrey, Rondé's work ethic. He outworked people. He did, and his toughness. You can't give one, his mental toughness. I'm watching that clip right there, and I remember his torn PCL, and nobody even knew about it because he never missed a practice. I tell people he's the toughest teammate I ever had, both physically and mentally. The one quality that for Rondé I think as a GM would be tough is every player sucked to Rondé. I think maybe Calvin Johnson once. He's like, Johnny, this guy's pretty good. But everybody else, that was Rondé's gift. I think because he was a smaller guy, he was the other brother. He had this chip on his shoulder. So as a result, like Mike Tomlin used to say, make Rondé Barber love you. You know, that used to be on our tip sheet because everybody sucked. I mean, like we'd be playing it, like this guy's a good player on it. He sucks. You know? So, I think that would be really hard because you couldn't feel the team because if everyone sucks.
Is that true? Because you talk
It
fondly
is
of
true.
players now.
It was a psychological. I had to tell myself they suck, so I knew that I could play against them.
I think it was a psychological. I told Rondé when he was going into broadcasting, I was like, dude, you know, because I even got like, I'm a pretty positive guy. And when I first started working for Fox, David Hill, the brilliant exec back then, said, you know, everyone can't suck. You know, like, people have tough weeks and they want to go enjoy a game of football. Like they have hard jobs and everyone can't suck. Everyone's not like, you know, the Bucs defense.
The elite.
You know, like, you got to celebrate the good. You know, so.
Oh, that's fantastic! Yeah, nobody's told that story, but it's true. I was an angry worker for a lot of reasons, man.
And you opened the show with the HR thing. Yeah, clearly there's an HR
It
issue
made him
here.
who he was.
Oh, it definitely did.
Who he is.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
was.
John, I look forward to seeing you this week, man. I'll be at the game, of course. I get a picture for you because I think the only two pictures I have in my phone are from my Hall of Fame. How do we not have any pictures together? It's ridiculous.
That's unbelievable.
Oh,
We
all
got
right.
a lot of good pictures over the years. But all right, man. This
Safe-
was fun.
Safe travels.
Okay.
Good luck, but not too much. And I'll see you on Sunday, brother.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. That was fun, guys.
Yep. Love you, JL.
Thank you.
The
Love you
Rondé
too, bud.
Barber Show will be back after this.
You're watching the Rondé Barber Show, sponsored by Renewal by Andersen. Superior products, exceptional service. And by Advent Health, the exclusive hospital of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, here's NFL Hall of Famer Rondé Barber. And a guy who's envious of Andy Reid's mustache, JB Buno.
Can you even grow a mustache? You look like you got some stubble up there all the time.
I've tried in the past. I just look like a weird French dude. It doesn't really work.
Oh man, we didn't even get a chance to dissect the Bucs game, but that's fine. They won. Baker Mayfield, by the way, what was he? 29 of 33, 379 yards, 2 touchdowns. He still only has 1 interception on the year.
Unbelievable.
He is that guy. And by the way, he has made Emeka Egbuka the first player in NFL history to catch 25 balls, 400 yards, and 5 touchdowns in their first 5 games. I mean, Baker is literally, in my mind, JB, entering this mythical realm of quarterback play. And I love it. We mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. The entirety of sports media right now is in love with our guy.
Yep.
They can't stop talking about him. Like, oh, he's so fun to watch. And to be honest with you, I bet you half of them have the same opinion that John did about him when he was in Cleveland still. And they don't even know, but now they're realizing what this guy is. So it begs us to ask the question, because everybody's asking that question right now. Is this dude an MVP?
And let me explain just a surface level difference from watching, with my family this past weekend, because let's just call the Seahawks game what it was. Classic.
Yeah.
Instant classic. Just a phenomenal, one of the best football games league wide all season long. And
There was 3 punts. 52 first downs by both teams combined. That's ridiculous.
Fans love offense. It
Yep.
was a great offensive game. The fans were into it.
I don't love offense. I
know
like a
you
little
don't.
bit of defense,
I know,
dude.
I know. You're waiting for that play to be made, but that's exactly where I'm going. So I'm sitting with my family. Actually, we had a lot of folks over for the game. Everyone's waiting for the Baker interception, man. In the second half, like everyone's on the edge of their seat, just a little bit tense, because in the past, or that fumble, really just that turnover,
Yes.
that or a special teams disaster on par with what we've had, through the first few weeks of the season. And you know what? It didn't happen.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's looking around and saying, holy crap. Is Baker Mayfield a legitimate MVP candidate? And I think the national media is getting on board with this, and the answer might be yes.
I would say yes for numerous reasons. One, all the pressure is on him, right? Your star running back is out. He's probably missing 2 or 3 weeks. And I applaud Rachaad White, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
2 touchdowns.
Yep, yeah, let's hit the applause button for Rachaad White.
It didn't show up in the stat sheet in terms of rushing yardage, but he did a lot of good things out of the backfield when he caught the ball. The last drive of the game is 3rd and 7. It's going to be a longish field goal. I trust Chase McLaughlin, but he breaks off a 12-yard run, gets out, stays down in bounds to keep the clock running, so you don't give the other team an opportunity to get the ball back after you kick the field. He played well in this game, but the legit reason they won this game is that Baker was feeling himself from the get-go. When I looked at my notes, I had in the first 15 plays, I had like 4 or 5 wows on throws that Baker Mayfield made. Just this attribute of him, his ability to extend plays, scramble, and keep his eyes upfield, like John was saying, and then make these impossible throws is just like, holy cow, man. So there's a lot of pressure on him, and he keeps rising up to answer the call. You talk about the MVP case. The last 2 MVP winners, Lamar and Josh Allen, Baker is playing better than them right now. You make a case. He's coming off a career year. I said that already in terms of touchdowns and yardage. He's eliminated the turnovers that you were asking for in the game last week. Yep. He's only got 1. And there's already this sense that people were saying he was a dark horse candidate to begin the year. So now you just start looking at the body of work, and then you say, why wouldn't he be a MVP candidate? And it's one, market bias. Right? Yep. It's the narrative that people are going to want to talk about. A lot of people like talking about returning champions, that they're the MVP candidates. But he's a breakout guy. But he's not he's a breakout guy. He's not a breakout guy. He did this last year. He showed signs of it his first year here in Tampa. So for me, he is the leader in the house to be an MVP candidate. And I think there's a lot more that we can talk about this, but show me somebody that's playing better. I guarantee you there's not a better scrambling quarterback in the NFL right now. Or at least there might be that guy. Josh Allen might be that guy. Jaden Daniels might be that guy. But none of them are playing as good as Baker right now. I'm
of the belief that the MVP race over the course of a season, that one thing that people don't really talk about is buzz. And buzz is real. There's buzz right now around Baker, and there's also a lot of fan-generated buzz as well. Of course, look, the stats, the record, it all lines up on paper for Baker having an MVP caliber season through the first 5 weeks. However, there's also buzz in this gritty sort of way, that is this narrative that is taking hold across the NFL because of certain moments. Last year, it was Baker ripping the smelling salts, like a savage. Yes. This year, it's the tunnel moment. Have you seen the tunnel clip?
It's the best.
Oh, ever. Okay. So
it's the best ever.
For fans who haven't seen, look, we can't play it on this show because it's got some bad words in it.
Yes,
we can't play
just a few.
But Baker's and Wirfs is also standing in this clip, just kind of smirking, which is fun. Baker's standing there in the tunnel up there in Seattle, and there's just fans heckling him as there's this awkward wait, right, kind of like right there in your shot, to come out of the tunnel, and Baker's jawing at the fans.
Yeah, it's the best, man. It's so good.
Now that doesn't make an MVP, but what I'm saying is it brings attention.
It keeps making headlines.
And all of a sudden there's a lot of buzz around Baker, around the Bucs, and around maybe this team being special, and maybe this season being special.
Right. There's difference in making headlines and not backing it up.
Right.
His play is backing it up.
That's exactly right.
I mean, the touchdown throw to Emeka was spectacular. It's another spectacular throw that he has made this year. And then the one where he escapes to his left and throws off platform to Sterling Shepard for the game tying touchdown. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I don't know many guys that can make that throw. And if you go back and watch the All-22, I know the NFL's cracking down on All-22 breakouts, right? But if you go back and watch that throw, it's improbable that he makes it the delivery. It's like he's scrambling out to his left. He's just escaping the edge player. And all of a sudden, it's the matrix is aligned in his mind, and he's like, I got one chance to let this thing go, and he just does it, and it's a perfect strike to Sterling Shepard. So if I'm making a final sell before we finish out this block, look, you got to watch the floor, not the ceiling of Baker, right? Like he's got a high ceiling for because of his big playability. He just needs to stay steady. Not turn the ball over, not get into the lull that happens to this team every year, right? We don't need to see that. And just keep stacking these metrics, man. His stat line from last week is stupid. 134.7 rating. Like, I don't even know what that means, but I know it's like not many people get that ever. It continues to add legitimacy to what he is. And then obviously the team's got to keep winning, which I think they will. What they'll keep doing, and more importantly, when people start making this argument for or against Baker, but for Baker, you got to start looking at the odds. They've set Rhett. What are the Superbook odds on any Superbook odds on Baker MVP? What are they right now?
Stand by. We're looking them up. I mean,
plus 1,100.
Plus 11. So like the belief is there, right? If the odds are there and they're going to continue to shrink, right, then he's going to continue to be in the forefront of this conversation.
The record thing is, if the Bucs lose in Seattle, is there this amount of MVP buzz at the moment?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
That win is.
It's, you know what? We're making these conversations. You're having this conversation. It's way too damn early.
It is. Yeah.
But it's fun.
Let me ask you this final question on Baker before we move on. Baker is 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint what the peak is of an NFL quarterback's career, especially since Brady has kind of shredded up the blueprint. Is Baker getting better?
Yeah, I'd say he to me he looks better than he did last year, right? And not only because he's working without his top target. I mean, I think about what this team would look like right now if Mike Evans was playing, if Chris Godwin was 100% healthy, which he's not. And I hope he plays this week. If Jalen McMillan was, available, we only saw Cade Otton get involved this week in the passing game, right? It's been a lot of Bucky. It's been all of Mecca. He's got so many more opportunities to be great, but he's still being great. He's still thriving and showing greatness without everything that he could be working with. So, does that mean he's in his prime because he's doing this without all of his options? I'd say so. He looks like a bargain right now. I look at all these damn expensive quarterbacks out there, and I wouldn't take a single one of them for what we're paying Baker. It is unbelievable how much he should be getting, and he's not getting. Baker, I'm working as your agent right here. I know Mike Greenberg and Jason Light are going to hate me for saying that, but holy cow, man. This dude is doing it by himself, and it's pretty awesome to watch.
Perhaps an MVP season loading. By the way, we have a correction to issue on this program, Rondé. You mispronounced Emeka Egbuka's name wrong.
Emeka Egbuka.
Sorry.
I didn't say that. When did I say that? Emeka Egbuka.
No. I'm giving you. No. You pronounced it correctly.
Oh,
I
my
just
God.
no. I
was that Gronk
that was
saying
Gronk.
it?
That was Gronk. You guys heard this clip on Fox Sports. One more time.
Emeka Egbuka.
Gronk, yeah, you're loved here in Tampa, but we have to have some fun at your expense.
Hey, you know what? Not many people said Rondé correctly when I first got here.
How did they say it?
Rhonda?
You were called Rhonda?
I think Gene Deckerhoff still calls me Rondy, but it's all good. Rondé Barber.
But that's a lady's
There's no
name.
H in it either. I don't get it, and nobody knows what the E acute means. So if you don't know what that is, I just taught you something.
Yeah, it's on there, folks. Check the graphics.
Yes.
Check the graphics. You see that little accent over the E?
That's the E acute.
Rondé, the Rondé Barber Show, as Buckified Bert would say. He's in the room. Hey,
all right,
Buckified, just quickly, real quick, just to prove that you're actually here and WFLA employee, just wave. Man, give everybody.
This is what he looks like out of uniform.
Out
by the
of
way.
uniform here at WFLA. He's throwing up the 5 for back-to-back.
Oh, I love it.
Man.
Speaking of that, how about let's take a quick look at the NFC, because since we have such a big game this week, for 3 weeks in a row now, we're playing the top team in another division, because Seattle was the top team in the West last week, and now the 49ers are. So with Eagles, Seattle 49ers, we got a pretty tough schedule, and we're still sitting at 4-1. So there's only, 4 4-1 teams left. Detroit, Philly, San Francisco, and the Bucs. One of those will obviously change with our game. Then you have Washington, Minnesota, and Seattle, all 3-2. And then Green Bay, probably in a better situation than those other 3 at 2-1. The tie helps you, by the way. The tie is legit at the end of the season, a game changer, and it's just an unhinged conference right now. I'd love to say somebody's in the driver's seat, but I would gather that nobody's in the driver's seat right now.
You lover or hater of power rankings? What is as a Hall of Famer?
They're fun,
yeah,
but they're stupid as hell too.
Power rankings.
You know what?
So dramatic. Power rankings.
Our boy Garrett over here, who's sitting in here, I bet you he has a power ranking. I wonder where he has the Bucs.
Where do you have the Bucs, Garrett?
He has the Bucs. See?
Okay, so there's the consensus around basically at NFL.com, ESPN. They all have Bucs basically as top 5 now. So
you got
Garrett's
a top 5. You got a top 5 quarterback. You should, and you have a winning record, and you're leading your division. You should be a top 5.
I would ask Albert, but it's always one.
It's always one.
The Bucs could be winless, and they're one. So
right.
The Lions. Hey, look. Jaden Daniels transforms the Commanders.
Oh, my God.
They're dangerous.
Somebody picked them last week since he was coming back and finished 3-0.
All right. So
3-0.
So let's
3-0.
Let's get in our picks here on the pick.
Do I get to go first?
Segment.
I won last week. I get to go first. Switch that up, Rhett. I get to go first.
Okay.
JB.
First off, let me just acknowledge that I laid an egg. I had a lead on a Hall of Famer, and I blew it in 1 week. In 1 week, I blew it. So,
yes,
tail tucked between my legs,
and
let's go.
And I flipped the script and went 3-0. So, all right, Cowboys and Panthers. All right, here's my favorite. So, I say this, and I don't mean to disparage the Carolina Panthers, but are they really 2-3 right now? That's just hard to believe. And I know they beat like a despondent Dolphins team, but I'm just not a believer in Bryce Young. So when I was making my picks, I said, Dak Prescott, I know he's playing on a bad team, but he is much better than them. He's still second in pass yards in the league. He's tied with Baker for touchdowns. And I know the boys are up and down, but they should be able to beat Carolina on the road.
Quick note on that. I think the Cowboys are the most unpredictable team and the hardest team
really are.
to pinpoint in the NFL right now. And I'm lost with whether or not this defense is trash.
I was just getting ready to say they're much like the Bucs at times when their defense just disappears and they just give up gobs of yards and lose in games they should necessarily be running away with. That probably won't happen today because like I said, I know Carolina's made some strides, but I'm still not a believer. All right, my dog of the week. I don't know how they're dogs.
Going into Jacksonville.
I know Jacksonville had a great win last week on a Monday night, beating Kansas City, but I fell asleep on that game. I'm gonna be honest. I came back from London that day. I just saw the beginning of the game, and I saw Trevor Lawrence's. How are we going to describe that?
What
fall on your ass, get up and run, touchdown. Like I don't even know how to describe that.
He was
touchdown.
in the fetal position. Can we call it the fetal position touchdown? That's what it was.
And then he struggled to get up, and then got up. It was like it looked like Little League football. To be honest with you, but they scored a touchdown and win. But anyways, the Jags are favored at home against the Seahawks, and they're the least attractive to me. By the way, Jacksonville, the least attractive 4-1 team in the NFL, but they have wins at San Francisco and versus Kansas City. So, I mean, I guess they're legit. I guess that's what makes them favorites. But I just watched Seattle, and Sam Darnold, boy, is really good. And he's got Cooper Kupp. Holy cow, man. The dude still has the best hands in football. And Smith and Jigba, they're better than Jacksonville's cornerbacks, those two receivers. And the way that Sam Darnold's playing and the way that Kenneth Walker III ran all over us, I'm taking Seahawks.
There was one quarter, I don't remember which quarter it was, but there was one catch the Cooper Cup had that was I couldn't believe he caught the ball. I like him. But
it's been that way his whole career. I'm always like, how does he? And he does. All right. I was stunned like everybody else on Thursday night when San Francisco found a way to beat.
Let me set this up. Rondé has not picked against the Bucs yet.
Right. But don't reveal it yet. Kyle Shanahan, by the way, might be Coach of the Year candidate number 2 behind Shane Steichen, because the Colts head coach is the freaking Coach of the Year right now.
Colts love is real.
It's real. And I have to throw it into every show, and there it is. They're winning San Francisco with a huge injury list, just like us. And this game's been flexed to 425 on a CBS crew. We get the number 1 crew in the country. Thankfully, it's not on Fox. And then, with that being said, he's the MVP, man. I'm taking the Bucs.
Woo! Let's hear it. Going for the Bucs, man. At home, Raymond James Stadium,
home game.
Can't wait.
I'm gonna send John back home sad on that plane. Although he might be kind of happy for us. He still has some roots.
Look, you saw that Bucs helmet there in his office.
Way to frame that up to keep it in frame. Good job.
That's
JB.
what I do, man. The little things on the show. The little things. All right. Speaking of little things, my Week 5 performance was putrid. I'm going to have to try to turn this frown upside down.
I'm liking where you're going here.
So you guys know the rules. You got to pick a favorite, an underdog, and the Bucs game. So on this show. So, okay, look.
By the way, is it coincidence or is this like Freudian that each of our picks every week always have a division rival in them?
Yeah,
I think we always pick against our division.
Yeah, we're doing that quite a bit. There's clearly some NFC South bias here. I don't think the Bills lose 2 in a row all year long.
I will agree with that.
I'm sticking to that sentiment. The Bills, I believe, are one of the most organized, well put together teams in football. I think if there's, an MVP race that takes shape over the course of the season, it's going to be Josh Allen again.
Totally agree.
And Baker Mayfield. That's I think the race, like early. You said it's early. It's way too early.
Right.
But Bills are a great football team, and they don't lose 2 in a row all year long. That's my prediction. Bills win in Atlanta.
Right.
Thoughts there before I go to my dog.
Bills last week lost to New England up by 17, I think.
Yeah.
And you won't see a regression of Josh Allen in his turnover machine, because that's what hampers him when he starts turning the ball over, and he hasn't done that all of last year. That game against the New England last week, he turned the ball over, fumble, an interception. That was the difference in that game. That will not happen twice. Even though I will say this, I don't know if a lot of people know this, the Falcons have the best defense in the NFL, stats wise. Just saying.
And this is an entertaining game at Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, this will be a good one.
Good. Monday Night Football. It's that's gonna be a must watch for sure. All right, dog. Lions at Chiefs.
I applaud you. I applaud you for taking on this game.
Yeah, I am.
It's the game of the week, man.
Everyone wants the Chiefs era to end, and this to be the game to send the Chiefs to 2-4.
Right.
Everyone wants the whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, Patrick Mahomes, whatever. Yes, Andy Reid's mustache, whatever it is. They just want the Chiefs to go away. And I hate to disappoint you, America. I don't think the Chiefs are going away. I think they find a way as dogs at home to win at Arrowhead on Sunday night football. Any notes there?
Are they actually dogs at home?
Well, I think the books have flipped, but as of this recording, they are dogs at home.
That'd be interesting if they stay dogs at home. But they should be. But Detroit is the better team. That Detroit might be the best team in football. To be honest with you. Yeah. So if they're not dogs, they should be dogs. I respect your pick here.
I'm picking against one of the best defenses in the league, and I'm picking probably against the best team in the league. These picks suck. Let's go on to the third one, and I'll just get right to it. Hit it, Rhett. I'm taking the Bucs this week. Finally, the chain is back. We're taking the Bucs. Let's do it. Let's do it with everybody watching this program. Ask Rondé's up next.
It's time for you to Ask Rondé, sponsored by Advent Health and Renewal by Andersen.
Woo! Yeah, I'm picking the Bucs to win.
Baby. Good job.
We both are. Let's let's show it again here. Let's show the final as Rhett gets the carousel ready for the Ask Rondé segment, where we bring you onto the program and then give away some signed Rondé Barber merch. But yeah, let's show this. Let's show this again. So here, Rondé and I are both 8-4. There are our picks for the week. And man, it's fun because I watch on Sundays. I'm like, oh man,
I know. I was in the UK last week for the international game, and our game was first. And I had picked Minnesota over Cleveland, and Dylan Gabriel goes out there and looks like a competent quarterback, and their defense was playing well. And I'm like, I thought this was going to be a blowout. It ended up being a 3-point game, man. I was like, what is going on? I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna start to lose again. Like my confidence was shot. But then Carson Wentz goes out and has a great second half, playing with an injured shoulder, by the way. I applaud him as well, and then gets that victory. So
he went out there like, man, Rondé Barber picked this. I need to step it up, man. This is Ask Rondé, where you submit video questions to AskRondé.com to join the show and ask Rondé any question that's on your mind. Let's bring up the queue, and we are gonna go to. I have this as crew. Let's see what this is about.
The Bucs getting a big win in Seattle at one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. Now, I know you played some loud games throughout your career, but which ones stand out as the loudest during your time as a Buccaneer?
Aside from the ones where, who was it that was pumping noise into the
that's
was that
right.
Minnesota? Who was that?
Fake crowd
in
noise.
in the old Metrodome. The Vikings were really loud, and they had that damn horn, and that horn was amazingly loud. But to be honest with you, the loudest one I've ever played in was Seattle. I don't know what it is about the acoustics of that stadium. If you ever looked at it, it's like a peeled open football. Have you ever noticed that? Like,
I've been there. I have family in Seattle. That place is definitely.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because the sound's close. That's probably not it. They're far away from the water. But whatever the reason, maybe it's just the passionate fans that they have. That's the loudest state I've ever been in. All the other stuff is like manufactured noise, whether it's the roofed-in stadiums that noise bouncing off or pumped through speakers, whatever the case. But Seattle is amazing. Kansas City's pretty loud too, but I only played there once.
Super quick story. I was in Seattle and I was at a sports bar during the game across the street once with my brother. Seahawks scored a touchdown. This is Legion of Boom days, and the glasses were rattling.
Oh, no doubt.
Rattling on the bar because
no doubt about it.
How loud it was inside the stadium.
It is less than it's the opposite of an antiseptic stadium. That thing it's not a corporate crowd, dude.
They're into it.
They are into it, man.
I want to get one more Ask Rondé question in. This is a fun one. This one comes in from Steve.
Here's a question for you, Rondé, that is non-football related.
Oh, God.
Everybody asks the same damn questions. Who's your dentist, dude? Your teeth are freaking awesome.
Oh, good question. Dr. Garidi up in she's up on 41. Yeah, she's great.
Wow, shout out for Rondé's dentist here on the program.
Hey,
I like it.
I had braces when I was young. I've had
look at the smile here.
Oh, dude, I've had plenty of dental work. I've done some damage to my teeth over the years. But yes, it's the genuineness of the smile that makes it pretty. You got to smile with your eyes, your whole face. It's just not your teeth. Your teeth, it can be a line, but you got to be meaningful in your smile. That's what makes my smile so charming.
Iconic. Okay, let's talk about the routine. How many times a day do you brush?
Oh, 3 times a day.
3 times a day?
3 times a day. Floss like every other day at least. So yeah, it's pretty. I did whitening when I got married. I didn't need to. I just did it because my wife wanted to.
But do people tell you that? Do people say, Rondé, you've got the best smile?
They do. I'm telling you. It's because, I smile from within. And that makes the smile so much better.
Well, let's make a Rondé Barber fan smile if you're listening to the show and you've submitted an Ask Rondé question. First, of course, we draw a prize and then we draw a name if you've submitted a video question to AskRondé.com. QR code there on the bottom right of the screen, by the way. If you can't spell Ask Rondé, you want to scan it.
Right.
Do people do that? I don't know.
Must be in the Bay Area to win. Full-size football.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
We're giving away a football today.
Finally giving away a
Signed by
football.
Rondé Barber.
And the recipient of said football is James Hill. Congratulations.
James Hill. How about it? Love it. James will be in touch for you to be able to collect your Rondé Barber signed football. All right, Rondé, we're tied in the Pick 6 segment. John Lynch, what a great guest.
Fun show, man. This was awesome. Appreciate this one. Yeah, and I got to have Johnny on San Francisco week.
Ooh.
And we didn't even talk that much trash to him. We was a pretty cordial conversation. I love it.
Yeah, classy folks
Yes,
here on
indeed.
the Rondé Barber Show. Bucs and Niners, as Rondé noted, flexed into the 4 o'clock hour, of course, on CBS. We'll be here next week to break it all down, hopefully for a Bucs victory. For Rondé Barber, I'm JB Buno. We'll see you next time here on the Rondé Barber Show.